Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad, upon his family and Sahaba, and upon those who follow them sincerely until the last day. I would like first to congratulate all brothers and sisters on the coming month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it the happiest month ever for all of us, admit all of us to Jannah, and save all of us from punishment. Ameen, ameen. Brothers and sisters, we meet today, inshallah, with another examples on our continuous series under the title of Why Islam. We try to give some strong arguments in support of the truth brought by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to make every Muslim and Muslimah, and even those who are not Muslims and they may happen to see us, to discover the truth brought by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Last time we spoke about the unique characteristics of the Quran that no other book except the Quran has. And today, inshallah, we try to reflect upon one ayah from Surah Al-Ankabut. It is the ayah number 41 in the surah number 29. This surah is Surah Al-Ankabut, and it takes its name from this very ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, مثل الذين اتخذوا من دون الله أولياء كمثل العنكبوت. The example of those who have taken protectors other than Allah is the example of the female spider. اتخذت بيتا. This female spider has taken a house, has built a house. وإن أوهن البيوت لبيت العنكبوت. Indeed, the weakest of all houses is the house of the female spider. لو كانوا يعلمون, if they knew. Indeed, as you see, this ayah takes it gives the name of the surah, and you can now ask yourself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the stories of Ibrahim, the story of Lot, and spoke about the tribes of Thamud, of Ad, and even the debate with the people of the book. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this surah the name of a spider, female spider, and didn't give it, for example, the name of the debate or the name of Lot or the tribe of Thamud or anything like this. Why? This is the question that we will give now a very quick answer. We have indeed a point of reflection on this wonderful insect, the spider. This insect lived on the earth 400 million years ago. In most of cases, female spider and even other spiders have 8 legs and 8 eyes. Some other species has 6 or less number of legs or eyes. But the most wonderful is these creatures, these insects are professional, wonderful weavers. So the house they build, which we see as very weak indeed, the weight of this very, very weak house we see is 5 times stronger than steel. You see, this is the silk weaved or woven by the spiders is stronger than steel, 5 times stronger. And you can, I will leave you some references, and you can even consult them after the end of our session, inshallah. So the first of all, this is a wonderful insect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke in this ayah and gave us 2 miracles of the Quran. Number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the example of those taken partners or protectors beside Allah is the example of the female spider who has built a house. Allah is saying the female spider builds house. Allah didn't say the male spider. And now, if you consult Arabic dictionaries, you will come up with the difference between ankab, this is the male spider, and ankabut, this is the female spider. The surah takes its name after the ankabut, the female spider. And this ayah speaks about the female spider. And the ta ittakhadhat ta. This is the ta of the sign of feminism. This is for female sign. Why? Because the creation of the female and male is different in the kingdom of spiders, and the female is always bigger and bigger in size. So, although the male can build a house, it cannot build a house for marriage. So the house of the family is always the task of the female. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is speaking about the house of the family, and this what we will know in the second miracle. So because the male spider is smaller than the female spider, and even in some species the rate or the difference between the female spider and the male spider would be 1 to 100. Can you imagine? In some cases, the female is very, very big, the biggest ever than the small male. So the female spider, builds the house. That's why Allah said the female and didn't say the male. But who told the Prophet Muhammad about this? Allah. Now, if any fair person with mindful mind would think about this ayah, he will just discover that the Prophet ﷺ, even he may have passed away, and he didn't know about this. He just delivered the message as he ﷺ received it. And it is now science, our science, who gives us this new reflection upon the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the queen of spider who builds the house for marriage, not the male. But now come to the most important sign in this ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and the weakest of houses, and indeed you can put between brackets, the weakest of family houses is the house of the female spider. In past times, our Mufassir used to say, Allah gave this example to make a comparison between the spider's house and the idols worshipped by other idolaters, by polytheists, by disbelievers beside Allah. In the same manner, those fake gods will be of no kind of benefit to those who worshipped them. The house of the spider would be of nothing, of no avail, because anyone can just demolish and destroy it. But this is not an exact interpretation. This is not right. Why? I tell you, the house of the spider is very beneficial to the insect, very beneficial to the spiders. It is very strong. It is very strong to the point that it can hunt a bee, and you know that the bee is bigger in size and weightier in measurement than the spider. This house, which we may think that it is weak, can hunt a bee whose size is many times more than the spider who built the house, while it runs so fast to the point that it is 32 kilometers an hour. You see? And it won't be torn. After hunting this big bee, it won't be torn. So now, the point that the house is not good for the spider is not right. It is very, very suitable for the spider. It is very strong. It provides food from the insects haunted by this house, and it is very good for the female spider. But what is the right interpretation? The right interpretation is the weakest of houses, the female spider, in terms of relationship and unity. It is a disrupted house, disunited family. I tell you now something that when you think about it, you can now understand the meaning of أوهن. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even didn't say أضعف. Allah said أوهن. This is something which is hayyin. It's something which is very close to the emotion, to the feeling, to the relationship. Now come to these facts. The destruction of this house even takes place during the process of coupling and competition. In the very moment in which the male and female are making their own mating, and during this, you can say, intimacy, the female would devour and kill the male in more than 60% cases. Can you imagine? In these cases, the female would kill the male. But even if, listen to this, if the male would be saved, and he won't be saved if the process takes him more than 8 seconds. So if the male takes more than 8 seconds, he most likely would be killed. But now suppose that he is saved. He won't be with her in the same house. Can you imagine? So it is the weakest of house. Not only this, in case of the lack of food, the members of this house would start to devour and consume each other. Now, if the young children are still weak, the mother would kill them and devour them. And if they became strong and the mom took care of them and now they need food and they find no food, they will start to bite, suck, and kill their own mother and devour it. If the father happens to come, they will eat him. And if they are still young and the father come or the mother come, the bigger would kill the smaller. You can now imagine. This, by the way, happens in so many examples of the species of spiders. I will give you some just names just to keep in mind. For example, we have the orb-web spider. The same goes true for the black weaver spider. The same goes true for the funnel web spiders. In the case of the young are eating their mom, this is a phenomenon which is widely known as matrophagy. You can just consult it, matrophagy. And even in some cases of, for example, the crab spiders would start to suck the lymph of their own mom to make it die very quickly, to kill it very quickly. Can you imagine why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this is the weakest of houses? Because this house is demolished and destroyed by the same members. The mom kills the dad. And even if the dad is saved, he will go and live here. If he comes back to make any kind of courting her after having mating her and he was saved, it most likely would be killed. You understand this? And this case is scientifically known as traumatic insemination. This is the distraction of the male in the process of mating. So now we understand that this ayah, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad 14 centuries or more than 14 centuries ago, has two scientific miracles. Number one, it spoke about the female builder, not the male. Number two, it talked about the weakest of houses in terms of relationship and family. And the likeness between this house and the protectors of the disbelievers is in the same manner that the members of this house give no kind of support to each other, give no kind of love to each other. The same goes true for the idolaters and the disbelievers. On the last day, when they meet each other, when they meet their fake gods, they will be of no kind of benefit. No kind of benefit would come to anyone from them. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِذْ تَبَرَّأَ الَّذِينَ اتُّبِعُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا وَرَأَوُا الْعَذَابَ وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling about the moment when the leaders of the disbelief would keep aside from those followers who follow them and will declare themselves clear from them, because all of them, the leaders and the followers, had already now seen the punishment by their own eyes. وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ, and they will have no one to support them. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us these two miracles, telling us that the builder is the female, not the male, and this house is a house of disunity, is the house of destruction, is a house of killing, is a house of matrophagy. Now, you can but say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.